Hello and welcome. Good morning. It is I, Sylvia Hartmann. Sylvia spelled with an I. I, Sylvia Hartmann, coming to you live from beautiful Eastbourne by the sea, where it is snowing. That is amazing. It really does not snow here very often. I have particularly noticed I made 6 years ago, I started making little men's. And these little men's have been waiting to make a snowman for 6 years now. For 6 years, there wasn't enough snow to just make a tiny little snowmen's for my men's. And so I'm excited. And perhaps when this broadcast is over in about 30 to 45 minutes, perhaps when I go outside, there will finally be enough snow to make a snowman's. That'd be exciting, really would be. Good morning, Renata and Wendy. Hello, my friends. Ah, no snow in the far southwest yet. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, it's winter. It's where we really are now in the depths of winter in, you know, England, Northern Europe, that sort of thing. And it's a fascinating thing. And I've just seen that the sun is coming out. The snow might have stopped and the sun might be coming out. You never know, do you? It's one of those wonderful things. So while we're just getting started here and saying good morning to my dear Ilka from Germany, I guess there's quite a bit of snow in Germany. There's always more snow in Germany than there is here in Eastbourne, that's for sure. And Marianne, hey, the German contingent has joined us this morning. Yeah, so you might have noticed there's something on the shelves behind me. My partner, Martin, he has only recently, about a year and a bit ago, started to do wood turning, which is a wonderful and ancient craft. I don't know how long wood turning goes back. It could go back much further than the invention of fire even. Who knows? Good morning, Karen, Saren. Good morning, my dear. So he started to do wood turning and he really enjoys it. And due to isolation, he hasn't been able to show his things that he's been making. And I think that the wood turning has been a real help because he had a heart operation last year, just before the isolation began. And so he is on immune suppressant drugs and therefore highly vulnerable. So he can't go out at all and can't have people in the house at all. And I think that the wood turning has really helped him to, to do something and to create something and to enter into this meditative state where you're shaping something and creating reality, really. So I have invited Martin to show and share his beautiful pieces on my shelves, which are designed to be used to show all sorts of different things, which I find quite exciting. Good morning, Lorna, and good morning, Clive. Oh, look at that. Ilka saying, I'm glad to own some of his early magical artworks. Wow. Yes, we had, when he very first started the last GOE conference, we had some things, including a spinner, the magic spinner. That was wonderful. Yes, you've got one of those. Awesome. Yeah, they're wonderful. I mean, I do love wood. I've got one here. It's one of my favorites. This is you see that? It's zebra wood. Isn't that just gorgeous and shiny? Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Oh, I do love these. I'm so pleased that that is his hobby because it's so easy to love. And there's something that I wanted to show you as well. Good morning, Kim, and good morning, Lauren, and hello, Martin. Yeah, I've wanted to show you this one. This one's my favorite. This is not turned, but it's a secret log. I've asked him to make me a secret log. I've always wanted a secret log. So that opens up. There's little men's inside. Hey, that's where he sleeps and waits for new adventures. Hey, wonderful. There's something else that I made him make me is mushrooms. I love mushrooms, and men's of course love mushrooms too. And that's kind of groovy. I do like them. They're just it's so tactile as well. And this one here is made of my favorite wood. My favorite wood is actually yew. Only you can make my world go right, because it looks like all the tasty things like vanilla ice cream, and it looks like caramel, and it's just such a beautiful magical thing. uh, Alex Kent, good morning. I love the secret log. You do? Well, there's birthdays and Christmases coming up, is there not? Denise, morning, Sylvia. Hello from Hampshire. Hello. Morning, Denise. Lovely to have you with us. Yeah, so I thought I'll give Martin my shelves to show his things, and then people at least have seen them. And I often think this about artists and works of art: there is the production process, making the thing, but then there's the sharing the thing with other people so they can see it too, and enjoy it too. And I think that's just a wonderful process. So there's lots of different types of wood, and they're all different. They all have their own qualities, their own beauty, their own magic, if you will. I mean, if you are into magic, then of course the power of wooden trees. And I always grow trees as well, and there's lots of fun to be had with that. But at the moment, oh, hello there. Good morning, Bear. Bear says, I will put it on the screen so Martin can see it too. Love the goblets. Oh yes, they're just awesome. Some of them are really quite tricky. Perhaps I can get Martin one of these days to do a live stream and show you some of his things. That would be really nice, wouldn't it? Okay, so yeah, winter inspiration. Winter inspiration. See, I think a lot of people are struggling with winter so much because you know, they our modern society is not in tune with the seasons. Our modern society is going along and be pretending that it's always the same time of year, and that time of year is no time of year. Just neon lights in a mall, and it could be any time, anywhere, middle of the night, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's hot outside. We just pretend to go along as though nothing was actually happening. And the seasons, they are a big thing that is really happening. It's a big thing. And perhaps we should be responding to that in some way. Perhaps our bodies want to be doing different things when it's hot in the summer or when it's cold in the winter. And our conscious minds are dragging them through this, as I say, as though the outside world, the real reality, doesn't even exist. Now look, lots of people are still talking about the wood. Let's go back to the wood. The drop is very cool. Somebody spotted the drop. Yes, let me show you another drop. This is a drop, and this is its puddle. So that sits very gently balanced on that. And the reason I asked Martin to make that is because I wanted to cast it and make one of my resin drops, who also has his little bubble. Oh, God. Yeah, cool stuff. People are liking the drops. Good morning, Karen. Hello. Hello, everybody. Oh, Alan. Good morning, Alan. Nice to see you here too. Fantastic. All right, guys. Yeah, so let's just chill and relax on this winter morning and just sort of, you know, let us just, I don't know, tune in on that. And really sort of the objects here, Martin's turned objects. There used to be a season for things where you did things. And in the winter, you used to do, as a human being, this is, you used to do crafty things where you used to do artistic things because you couldn't hunt and you couldn't gather. And so you used to do other things and get into contact with nature, and you do useful things in other ways. So, you know, Oh, this is sweet. Renata says, all very beautiful. Thank you for showing and sharing. My absolute pleasure. And I am really, I love them. I think they're absolutely beautiful. And I also think that Martin has a real talent to finding the right shape for the piece, you know? And I'm coming back to this theme of modernization and industrialization, where like a factory somewhere can churn out 1,000,000 of those in a day. They can bring in logs of wood and then shove them in a machine, and the machine goes bleh, and spits out at the end this object. And then you've got on the other side, you've got a craftsman choosing a piece of wood and then looking at the piece of wood and thinking, what shape would you like to be? What would be the perfect shape for you? And then with their own hands smoothing it, and the process of making it so smooth that it is actually shiny and reflective. Well, you start with thick sandpaper and little sandpaper and even more little sandpaper and then tiny little grains and then polish. It takes hours and hours and hours. And then after all of that, you have this object, and then you've got another object that's come out of the factory, and one costs, I don't know, 20 pounds, and the other one costs 2 pence. And are they the same object? And I know they're not. I know they're not. And so it is for so many other things. I just wish people were more energy aware. I really do. I think one of the reasons that the problems that we're having with all the junk floating around in the oceans and overconsumption is that if you get a piece for your, I don't know, $1 from the dollar store, I mean, how much do you treasure it? How much is it something that you can just chuck in the bin? And you just wouldn't chuck something like this in the bin. You'd look after it, you'd treasure it, you'd take it with you when you move house. And you wouldn't have 1,000 of these. You would have one. God, you've got me on a whole strange track here this morning, people. Beautiful and respectful, mindful and respectful. Yeah, mindful and respectful. I am mindful with this object here that there was a tree that probably came from a rainforest at some point. And the life of that tree is in this bowl. It's not just a Chinese takeout container. This is a different thing on a different level altogether. And I feel there's a principle here, in principle, that if one, I don't know how to express this. I can just say that if we had less objects in our houses, but each one of the objects was beloved and special and wonderful in some way, then surely that all together, then all these objects together would just transform our lives. Surely they would. They would transform our homes and our lives. And yeah, if you can replace the mass produced with something that was made by somebody with love, find opportunities to do that. When you're shopping for something, doesn't matter what it is, perhaps money isn't the most important aspect in buying an object. And we've been trained that this is that you always have to have the cheapest of everything, that somehow is a good thing. And it's not. It isn't. If you're going to live with something for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, there must surely be. And also, here's another thing. There was a time when people actually saved up for stuff, where when they wanted a new lamp, they wouldn't go out and get it for free on a credit card or something. They'd actually save up for it and take their time, and then eventually they bought that lamp and were all proud of themselves when they took it home. Ooh, there are so many ways in which we can question what goes on in modern society. Let's see. Renata says, totally get what you're saying. Every object in our home has energy. Yes, it does. And together, they become sort of either a symphony or a cacophony. And then it's harder or easier for a person to live in that environment. I've been sort of looking for places where energy drains away. My mission is to get us up on the positive side of the energy chart without having to work so hard all the time. And sort of the objects in our house and our homes themselves, they are sort of a foundation, a baseline that should help us in some way. Okay. Karen says, totally agree. Appreciating beauty, the energy of a beloved object is very precious. Yes, it is. And it's supporting. It is an ongoing support for us as we are doing what it is that we're doing. I mean, it's best shown like people who go to work and they have a picture of their loved ones on the desk. And it's like, that helps. See what Carol says. Carol Ann, every time you pick up an object that someone has lovingly made, you feel that love and it holds special meaning, an expression of love. Absolutely. Absolutely. And people who can't feel that, because, look, the reason people can't feel that is simply because they're too stressed. So if you can keep your population constantly stressed and energy autistic, if you want to call it that, then you can sell them all sorts of shoddy things, mass-produced things, unlovingly thrown together things, disposable things, disposable fashion. God damn it. See what Renata says. This is changing, don't you think? People are getting more aware of in this new era, coming back to nature and sustainability. Yes, it is getting a little bit better. I think so. I think the very fact that people are more interested in it now than they were is a good step in the right direction. But in order to really understand it, that it's not about depriving ourselves of all the wonderful, sparkly luxury goods of the Western world at all, but it's actually to step beyond that into objects that are luxury and sparkling, but they are also, and at the same time, made with love and purchased with love and kept with love. I think that's the piece that's missing. That is the piece that's missing. A lot of the people who go around, they want to go back to the Stone Age or to the Middle Ages and have us all walk around in sackcloth and ashes and feel ashamed of us, of our humanity and the terrible things that we've done to the environment. And that is not the way forward. We want to get to the next level. We want to go beyond the old consumerism and have perhaps a form of enlightened consumerism, where we have the beautiful, sparkling things and they are good for the environment and they're made with love. And that would be quite wonderful. And then we also could get people back to work, may I say. You know, the big factories where you throw in a tree on one end and get a plate out on the other, they're automated. Nobody works there, apart from a few people who oil the machines, who service the machines. And many managers, of course, many, many managers. Alan Balfour says, it's turned out nice again. A catchphrase for Martin. Yes, his what's it call it? His turning persona. We talked about this and came up with touch wood turning, because the thing with the wood is the touching. It looks beautiful, but it's in the touch that this connection is made. So it's touch wood turning. Geraldine, hello there. Hi, everyone. I think this is why homemade birthday cards from children or adults are so preciously kept. Yeah, that's a perfect example. It's a perfect example of that thing, that something that is handmade with love is precious. And yeah, well, what can we say? It's true. Carol Ann said something that I like. Enlightened consumerism. I like that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with consuming. There's nothing wrong with, and there's also nothing wrong with wanting beautiful things and sparkling things and luxurious things. That's what we should be wanting. I just say those words, beautiful things, sparkling things, luxurious things, and my energy is just tingling, just saying those words. Down with the sackcloth and ashes, down with the, I don't know, grunting in the mud. That is past. That's history. Let us move forward. Let us use our intelligence, our resources, our machines in some way to create something that's just uplifting and beautiful and helps us navigate the hard. That'd be lovely, isn't it? I remember just chatting here, so I'm just remembering an old NLP seminar that I went to, a marketing seminar with NLP. And they said that people, when they're buying something, they go through a certain process. And if you buy too much, or you're compulsively shopping, or you're emotionally shopping, which a lot of people do, they feel a bit bad, so they go and buy something, be this a car or a soft toy or something else for their collection. And if you want to interrupt this process, then you want to put a stop somewhere in there. And so somebody thinks, okay, I need to buy another porcelain pig for my porcelain pig collection. I need another one. So they're going online looking for that. And as they're about to, just before you click that buy now button, the question, do I need this? Do I want this? And do I need this now? To bring some sanity back into the buying behavior, as it were. And I'm thinking we can make sort of modern energy formats of this. One of the things, and I've got to tell you this, with emo, is so cool. On many occasions, when I really, really wanted something, let's say I wanted another lamp, Just an example, another lamp. I want another lamp. I already have 10,000 lamps, but I want another one. Okay. I need another lamp in my life. So what I used to do was to bring up the lamp on the computer or go to a shop. Back in those days, human beings could go to shops and buy things and touch things. It was amazing. Tell the young ones, and they won't believe you. So there'd be this lamp, and I'd like, okay, where do I feel this lamp in my body? Here and here and here. Get the energy of the lamp to flow through, make it flow faster, faster, faster. Whoo, energized end state. Do I still need the lamp? No, I don't need to buy the lamp. Woohoo, I'm feeling better. Mission accomplished. That actually works really well. So try that. Next time you really feel you can't live without X, Y, and Z, just suck in the energy of X, Y, and Z and find out if that's going to change your buying behavior. And if you like, after 10 years, you can send me 10% of all the money that you didn't spend. And my bank account details will be below this video. That's quite funny. Ooh. Have just said this, the aroma of turned wood shavings must be incredible. Oh, it is. Oh, God, it smells so lovely in the turning shed. Wow. So beautiful. You know, you actually bottle that and sell it. We got here? Sylvie Serene. Hello, Sylvia, from Brittany. Oh, hello. Hello there. Waving to Brittany. Hello, Sylvie. Long time no see. Good morning, Janine. Hello. So, yeah. And Cheryl is also here now. Good. My dear people. Yeah, okay. So where were we and what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, emo and buying things. That's a whole emotional buying. It's a whole other topic, isn't it? And this, yeah. Do I want this thing in my house? Do I need it in my house? Can I just take the energy of the thing? And will that fulfill it? And I've had occasions as well, may I say, when I've done the emo with the object and the desire to own it and actually physically take it home with me grew stronger. So that was interesting. First time that happened, I was really surprised. But then I thought, this is brilliant. This is a brilliant way of making that decision of whether you want to buy this now or not. Because after I'd done the emo on this particular object, and I think that was quite an expensive glass pendant. That was, it was in America. It was in a shop by a lake where a glass artist was making these pendants with little tiny octopuses inside the glass. And they were awesome, but very, very expensive. Now, of course, they would be. You know, I don't even want to know what it takes to make, with hot glass, a glass pendant with a beautifully shaped octopus inside, and then polish it and sand it. And how many of them go wrong as well, I can't begin to imagine. You know, there's like, for every one that actually goes to sale, there's probably an entire pile of ones that didn't work out, will get melted down to make placemats or something. Yeah, so it was really expensive. But after I'd done the emo, I knew that I wanted to take that object home with me, that it would be something that I would enjoy and that would give me pleasure in the future, and that it was the right decision to buy it. And that was brilliant. It's really useful. I mean, the things we do in modern energy are super useful. I've saved a ton of money just with that one little trick over the years. There's those tentacles again. Yep. There's those tentacles again. My elderly car is about to die, says Janine. What is that? I am so sorry. My deepest condolences. May the spirit of your car live on forever in your sanctuary and be happy and rust free and go faster than it's ever gone before. I wish you all the very best in that transition to, wherever that will go. Hello, Lorna. Look at that. Lorna says, good tip, re-emo. Since lockdown, I've been emotionally buying clothes I don't really need. When I feel bored, I go straight online. Yes, that's normal and natural. And it's the same principle with eating, really, emotional eating. Lots and lots of people have said this, that if you emo it first, whatever it is you want to be eating, that'll give you then a clear indication whether you are satisfied just with the energy, in which case it was just emotional eating and the emo's taken care of that. But if you're even more ravenously hungry after, then go ahead and eat it. And then the eating of it, and this is also really interesting, the actual process of it it's like an orgasm. It's like a revelation. Oh my God, I've never tasted anything so good. And I think that's probably because the emo took out all the reversals. Oh, I want to eat this cheese, but I'm not. Oh, it's going to make me fat. It's going to kill me. Oh God, but I need this cheese. Oh no, God, yum yum. And but once you've emoed it and you have actually decided you want to eat this thing, it's like, oh, that tastes so good. And every part of your body reacts to it. Now, for those who don't know me, thinking to themselves, oh, look at that fat woman sitting there talking about weight loss and emo. I'm not talking about weight loss and emo. There's two things that I've never done programs on. One was weight loss and the other one was smoking. No way, not talking about that. It's not what I'm particularly interested in. I have just noticed that when you do the emo and then eat the thing, which is rare, it's 75%. The energy itself just fills the need. That's the same with the shopping. Same ratio. 75% of the time, after you've taken in the energy of the thing that you've desired, you don't need the physical thing anymore. But in the 25% of cases where you do the emo and it's becoming stronger, and to the point that there could be no other choice but to physically interact with that object, the experience of interacting with it is on a whole different level. It's orgasmic, absolutely orgasmic and wonderful. It's like enjoying the thing without all the reversals and problems and pain and suffering in the way. And here we come back to what I was saying earlier. I don't want us to be in sackcloth and ashes in the widest metaphorical sense. I want us to enjoy life to the hilt, to find objects and physical things and eating and orgasmic. And when we do it at the right time and for the right reasons, it's wonderful. We want to be happier, more astonished, more excited, more luxurious, more sparkling than our forefathers were. And that can be done when we add energy into the mix. Ha. Martin says, making glass objects must be like bowl turning. You can never know if a blank has a flaw in the wood hidden from sight. Yep. Yes, it must be very similar to that. And the thing is, with all those things, is to remember, like Bob Ross, remember Bob Ross. There are no mistakes, only happy accidents. When this is a different story, because obviously a flaw inside the wood that you can't see when you started, it's a different thing. That's kind of not your fault. But the whole idea of there's no mistakes, only happy accidents, we can widen that out on, doesn't matter whose fault it is. Doesn't matter whose fault it is, why something didn't work or something exploded or something went wrong. Let's not worry about whose fault it is. Let's just see how we can, do something with it. What else? What else can we do with it? What else can we make from that? And move on forward. I think that's very important. Okay, righty-ho. So, Janine, with her car on its deathbed. Thank you. My issue is not being able to buy a replacement. No, for many things look, even with the plates from the factory, where you throw in the pieces of wood on one end and you get the machined plates out the other side, that cost $1 and cost 2 cents to make. Not one of those plates that comes out the other end is the same as any other. You can't even replace those. And if you look at a plastic Chinese takeout carton at the quantum level, every one of those is also different from one other. So you can never replace anything. You can't replace anything at all. Nothing. You can't even replace a mass-produced plastic bottle and think that it is the same as any other plastic mass-produced bottle, because it isn't. Everything's different. Everything is new. Obviously, you can't replace a painting. You certainly could not ever replace this bowl. You spend 1,000,000 years trying to replace this bowl and it'd be pointless. You couldn't do it. So don't try and replace things that have become lost or that have died. Just don't try and replace them. Instead, move towards the next thing that will bring you pleasure or joy, that will fulfill the purpose that you are seeking. I think that's really important. We can't ever replace anything. If you can't even replace a Chinese takeout bowl, you could never replace a car. Never. They're so individual, made out of so many components, and they all have a history and they have an energy. And obviously, you can never replace a person or a pet or a companion. You can't. We can only then think about what it is that what has gone, what it has given us, the function it has served for us, and look for a new thing, an evolution on the topic, perhaps, not a replacement. And that's a sort of a life lesson, really, isn't it? Oh, yes. Yeah, it's I do understand. I too have relationships with cars, and I think it's right to have relationships with cars. Of course, absolutely. Okay, my dear friends, we've been... Oh, thank you very much, Karen. It's true, though, isn't it? Well, I'm just like this old lady now. I don't realize this, but I am this old lady who's been on this planet for 6 decades. And I've learned loads of things, the hard way. Some of which I've learned the very, very, very hard way. And others of which I've learned relatively easily and joyfully. And I do prefer learning the joyful and happy way, Yay, give me life lessons, but make them exciting and fun and sparkling and wonderful. I think it's quite funny. In the current society we are in, there is this whole competition for victim status, and we've got all this diversity thing and people being discriminated against and these suppressed groups. And one of the groups that is probably the most suppressed group of them all in this current society. And that totally, I have never heard any kind of defense of, this is old people. And by old, I mean, start with okay boomer and work upwards. Anybody over, what, 40? These are old people. They don't get respect. Their opinions aren't being respected. They are being discriminated against more than anybody else when it comes to finding work or anything, really. Old people. And they're not on Twitter, you see. This is probably why they're being discriminated against so brutally, and people are getting away with it. And it's a shame, because old people like myself, they have this amazing thing called life experience, and they have stories to tell, and they have had insights, and they have learned things. Like, you can never replace anything. I mean, that's a life lesson. And you can tell people that, and at least they've heard it then. At least they've heard it. And then when something is lost or something goes away, then they can consciously sort of remember that and think to themselves, when the need for the lost thing comes up emotionally, mentally, in some way, they can think to themselves, yeah, that thing is in the past, and I need to go now and look for the next thing and ask the question, what is that next thing going to be? And that's sort of, I think it's helpful. I think old people would have a lot to contribute if anybody bothered to ask them, and not just, shuffle them off into endless medical care and then old people's homes and such. See what Sylvia says. Sylvia says, old is our age plus 15 years, so that we are never old. Yes, I can imagine the French saying such a thing. That I absolutely can imagine. I was taught you are as old as the partner you feel. Okay. Yes, I need to keep this 40. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think being older in this society here in this world is really interesting. It's very, very interesting, and the prejudices are fascinating. What I find so highly amusing is this thing that it is presumed, because I'm 60, that I don't know how TikTok works or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. That I don't know that. People, I was an early adopter I was on the internet in 1996. You weren't even born in 1996. So please, enough already. It's quite funny, really. But it's just, let's not see. I'm just playing here with this thing about the old people. I'm just playing with that because I'm not interested in making people into something or categorizing people, because what I do is I focus on what we all have in common. And what we all have in common is that we seek happiness, that we seek good experiences, that we seek having a good time in this life before we die, which is, to me, absolutely of the essence. This is across the board for every human being there is. I am not serving a tiny part of any particular subgroup. I literally am here to serve humanity. So the structures and patterns that I'm making, that the wood I'm turning, is there to serve humanity. Full stop. everybody. And the techniques and patterns that we develop, that we use, they are supposed to work for everyone because they're humane, they're human. And it doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman, or what religion you are, what color you are, what size you are, how big your feet are. Any of those things are irrelevant, because underneath all of those outfits and masks, there's this thing that we are a structure. There's a system, a structure underneath that, a person, a human being. And human beings have rules and regulations, and some things work with human beings and some don't. And I like to find things that work with human beings, not just with old people or young people or these people or those people. And I know that's highly controversial in this day and age, but what can I say? Here we are. Love your comments, people. Thank you very much. That's it's great to have you here live on the chat and let you lead the chat and lead the direction of the live streams and bring up the ideas and the things to talk about that I wouldn't have thought of if I just sat here and spoke to no one at all, which would have been so sad. All right, shall we do just a short little winter meditation while we're here? Outside, the snow is still falling. And you know that thing about every single snowflake is different. No two snowflakes are the same. Now, I don't know if this is true, because nobody has ever taken all the snowflakes and looked at each one. But in the context of that, even every Chinese takeaway container is different. Of course it's different. It was made at a different time, different energy, past, under a different sign of the zodiac. Of course, we're on the eternal journey. So all the snowflakes are indeed different, all of them. By that law of nature, they're all different. And this sort of thing can overwhelm the poor conscious mind. How can all the snowflakes falling at this moment, all over planet Earth, wherever they fall, how can they possibly all be different? But they are. They're unique. Everyone is unique. And so are we. So are our hopes and dreams. So our lives, they're not the same. They're all different. Much more different than people have been led to believe. We're unique. Having these unique experiences. Sometimes we need to rest a little, become a little more quiet, and sometimes we need to speed up. Sometimes we need to react to the environment and interact with it. And sometimes it's just nice to be alone and to be quiet and to look at the snowflakes falling and just think and marvel on the enormous mystery that is this extraordinary world that we human beings get to experience and wonder about. And sometimes when I do that, I think that the universe created human beings so there would be somebody who would actually look at such things as snowflakes, sunsets, and go, wow, that is so beautiful. Oh, my lovely, lovely people. Thank you so much for having been here with me. Lots and lots and lots of love to you. Don't let the heart get you down. Stay connected to the bigger patterns, to the weather, to the world outside, and to each other. Let's stay connected with one another and get not just get through the winter, but find the purpose of it, the moments that you can only have here and at no other time. Stay safe, stay protected, look after yourself and your loved ones. Have a fascinating week, this new week that will never come again, that you are spending on this planet here, where you can live and you can love and you can learn, you can think and you can feel, and you can also, in some way, assist others on their path. So I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a wonderful Sunday. Have a wonderful week. And hopefully I will see you again for next week's Sunday Live with Sylvia. Lots of love to you all. Bye from me and bye from Martin's Beautiful Things. Love you. Bye.